So hello everybody and welcome here back up on this BSN Network here today. I'm back here with another video. Today we have lots of stuff to go through in sports. We have the Nets, the Knicks, the Rangers, obviously every day. NFL games, some big ones, some disappointments in my brain. I didn't 0-2 on my game picks. I'll get more into that later. Tyronn Lue, will he get fired and will he not be with the Cavs by the end of this year? Pat Shurmur to the Giants, how will he fare there? Robbie Anderson arrested, and if the Jets give him away, I'm going to run through some stats. What will they be losing? And Yankees, Chance Adams and Justice Sheffield, will they be up by the beginning of the year, by opening day? And will they be ready? So first, obviously, every Monday we're going to start off with the NFL games. The NFL games, once again, and Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Same old. But in the NFC, at least we got a new team. We're seeing a new team, and we know no one expected this at the beginning of the year. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. It will be the Eagles versus the Patriots. What can I tell you? Patriots make it again. Jaguars had that game in their hands, and it's obviously Jaguars don't have to admit. I mean, even though they lost, they played one heck of a game, and they've had one heck of a season. They've done so well this year. They should still be proud of themselves. I know they even lost, and it's probably tough knowing that they were up and they had that game, but it's still a great game. So New England wins 24-20. Philly wins. That wasn't even a good game, the Philly game. 38-7. Philly wins. So obviously I went 0-2 on my picks. Obviously I didn't want that to happen, but it is what it is. You can't get everything right. You're gonna make mistakes in life. That's what it is. That's what life is about. You can't always do everything right. So 0-2. Obviously I was hoping to go at least 1-1. If I would have picked the Patriots, I would have been right, but I seriously did, and I'm not saying that just because I thought they were just because I wanted them to win, but I actually did thought the Jaguars were going to pull it off. Tom Brady still finds ways to get 290 yards, even when he's got stitches on his thumb. He still finds ways to do that. I don't know when you'll see. I mean, I cannot wait till the Patriots are bad again. And I was saying this before. I've talked to some people that I know. I mean, it's crazy how the Patriots are not one of America's hated team in the NFL. Actually, if you didn't know this, fun fact. NFL's most hated team is Dallas Cowboys because they call themselves America's team. That's why they're America's most hated team. I say that the Patriots are football's are more like they're the most liked team, but also like the most disliked team. They're like 50-50. So many people like them, but so many don't. Obviously for me, for Super Bowl 52, I'm going to be going for the Eagles just because, I don't have any hatred for the Eagles. The Eagles have done nothing to the Jets. I have hatred for the Patriots because I can't stand them, and they're in the Jets, and the Jets' rivals are the New England Patriots. So obviously, and this is one thing. We're going to get into the Jacksonville-New England game now. This is one thing I have to say. Let me just put it. Jacksonville, when D.D. Westbrook caught that ball, I think they were about the 36 or 38-yard line. I know they're on the 30-yard line of the Patriots. There was about, I think, 2-something minutes remaining. I bet you, even if the Jaguars, they end up losing the game on a 4th and 14 trying to pass, even if the Jaguars would have scored a touchdown, I'm sure the Patriots would have found a way to come back. I'm sure they would have found a way to get down the field and score. I'm sure. I mean, I think everybody had a feeling about that. Obviously, though, the Jacksonville played very well. One thing about Jacksonville, and this is what the Atlanta Falcons did in the Super Bowl, is at the end of the game, they were passing the ball way too much, and they were not running. They got to bleed clock off. And they're not giving their defense any type of break whatsoever. Falcons would have won the game if they were in field goal range. Instead trying to pass it, and Matt Ryan got sacked. That was last year. I don't know if you remember that, but that was last year. It's crazy I don't know why they were passing. They couldn't complete anything, you know? And the matter of the time that the Patriots scored 14 points was a matter of like 3 minutes. It's 20-10 with like 6 minutes remaining. 2 minutes later, you see 24-20. Like, what? What's just happened now? Patriots once again find their way. They find their way, and they get another victory. I mean, what can you do about it? They're the Patriots. They always get it their way. That's why I can't. That's another reason why I can't stand them. No, another fact. Been to 8 Super Bowls. They're 5-2. So they're 8. This is their 8th Super Bowl. They're 5-2. Both of their losses came against the Giants. They did. Both of their losses came against the Giants. So see if the Eagles can try to pile on, and see if 2 NFC East teams can try to knock off the Patriots. So yeah, I mean, obviously Patriots played well. You know, you can't take anything away from them. I just think the Jaguars, and also that one drive, Jaguars had 5 penalties, I think, 5 or 6 penalties. And Patriots ended up scoring on that drive. There was a few penalties that I have to admit I was a little unsure about. I'm sure that might not have changed the game, but there was some penalties that I was a little unsure about, and I didn't really know why they were penalties. But what can you do about it? You know, it's the sports. You know, it's sports. Every type of sport. Not everything's gonna go your way in life. I always think of it, you know, sometimes in life there's going to be bumpy roads, and sometimes in life there's going to be smooth roads. Obviously, for the Jaguars, that end of that game was a bumpy road. They had so many penalties, and they were just struggling. What can you do about it? So now, we're going to run through some stats. So, Tom Brady had completions of... Tom Brady had... 26 out of 38 on his completions. He had 290 yards. He had 2 TDs, and he had 0 interceptions. That's Tom Brady, of course. Even with a thumb stitched up, still finds ways to get over 200 yards and 2 TDs. Danny had 2 TDs, and James White had 1 TD. They combined it for 3. Reception 7 for Danny Amendola. Reception 7, yards 84, average 12.0, and he had 2 TDs. James White had 3 carries, 4 yards, 1.3 was his average, and a TD of 1. All that takes, even though he was only averaging 1.3 yards, all it takes is to score a touchdown. Is all that takes. Just to have a few yards, and you can score a touchdown, and all of a sudden you look like you have a half-decent game going. So now we move to the Jaguars. Jaguars obviously had tough game all around. They really did. They did not really. They were struggling. They really were. No. They were struggling in the fourth quarter. Not a tough game all around. They were struggling in the fourth quarter. The whole game they played well. I thought they stayed in it. I don't know about you, but I really did. I think after that 3-0 start for Patriots, I think they built some momentum after that. I feel like they really did. I feel like they built some momentum. After that, only allowing 3 points. I know it's still points and stuff like that, but still, when you can allow 3 points in a championship game, the first drive, you should feel pretty good about themselves. Bortles had a good game. Fournette, of course, had another good game. Not the best, not like he did last week, but still, any type of game you can get a touchdown is good, in my opinion. So we moved to Blake Bortles. Completions and attempts, he had 23-36. He had 293 yards, 1 TD, 0 interceptions. Leonard Fournette had 24 carries, 76 yards, 3.2 average, and a TD of 1. Mercedes Lewis had 1 reception, 4 yards. 4 yards was his average, and 1 TD. So, good game. It was a good game, and I didn't even, the second game, I was like, you know what, the second game, when I saw that game, how it was, I saw it, and it was crazy. It was a 38-7 victory. We're going to run over stats now about that second game. Second game, let's just say it was Philly. Philly who beat up Vikings, every bit, I think it was all Philly. Vikings did not have one thing going. Keenum had 2 interceptions. last week after seeing last week. And I think I had a little bit of an iffy feeling after that catch that they might not respond the best. I don't know why, and I don't know why. You probably would think, oh, well, they would carry in the momentum. I just had a feeling that after that catch, I just have a feeling that they would not do the best this week. I don't know. It might just be me. I just feel like, they'll be too focused on last week's game, too focused on all that, and they wouldn't really be focused that much on this game. I mean, I'm sure they're focused, but I would just feel like that they're too nailed in about the other game more, last week's game. Now, of course, I can't take anything away from them, and it was a great catch. I mean, I still can't get over that catch, and it's been it's already been a week now, more than a week in one day, but I still can't get over it. I'm probably not going to get over it until I'm 50. I still won't get over it. I mean, that was crazy, that thing. So Case Keenum had 28 of 48 on completion and attempts, missed 20. So 271 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Obviously, Keenum did not have the day he had last week. Last week he was he was brilliant last week, and this week though, struggling. And obviously, it's probably frustrating for the Vikings knowing that their season's over. It's frustrating for any team knowing that their season's over when they come this close. I think it's one of the worst. I mean, even the Super Bowl though, but I think that it's the second worst series to lose, and I really think is an NFC Championship game. Just because you're one step, and especially the Vikings. Vikings would have had home field advantage for the Super Bowl. Now they don't. Kyle Rudolph had 1 reception, 25 yards. 25 was his average, and 1 TD. His only reception was 25 yards for a touchdown. That was a big TD. I thought after that TD, I thought they were going to build up more and more momentum. I guess I was wrong, and I was completely was. Nick Foles, I'm going to spend a minute to talk about him. Nick Foles, what a playoff run he has had. I predicted them to actually lose in the divisional game. They got me wrong. And they got me wrong again this week. Will they get me wrong the Super Bowl weekend? I'll do my picks then. But will they catch me wrong again? I don't know. So Nick Foles had 26 completions, 33 attempts. He only had 90 completions. He had a very, very good game. Nick Foles, this is the thing. I'm going to spend a moment on him. This is the thing about Nick Foles. Really, for the Eagles, and I'm not saying Carson Wentz wouldn't have done well in the playoffs. You never know how he would have done. But neither one of them has any playoff experience. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I don't know if you are. You might be. You might not be. When the time you're watching this. Not watching this right this second, but when I post it. I just feel like, the weeks that Nick Foles had, the 2 weeks that it was 2 weeks that Nick Foles was in. He really didn't tell you the truth. I wasn't really that thrilled by him. They lost 6-0 against the Cowboys, their last game of the season. Yeah. Even if you make the playoffs and you clinch your division and you got the best record in the NFL, I still think the last week's the worst week to lose. Because you don't bring any momentum into the playoffs. You bring just a loss into the playoffs. That's personally what I think. I don't know. You might think differently, but that's what I think. I think the last week's the most important week. Because you lose, you bring zero momentum into the playoffs. You bring momentum of past games, but your mind more, you're clear, your mind is more like back on last game. So anyway, he had 352 yards, 3 TDs, 0 interceptions. So that's what we got for stats there. Obviously, it will be the Eagles and Patriots in the Super Bowl. Hopefully, Eagles win. I'll do my picks then. I don't want to spoil it for you. My Vikings did not make it. I shouldn't say my Vikings. I said my pick didn't make it. I said the Vikings would win it all before the wild card game. Beginning of the year. One night I was talking, and I said the Green Bay Packers would win it all. And I got that wrong. Thought I was going to get it right. I think a lot of people probably thought that too with me, but yeah. So anyway, so that's what we got for NFL. Yeah, we got NFL done. Now next up we will have Roby Anderson. We're going to talk about him when we come back on the BSN network. When we come back, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go grab a drink, and then I'm going to bring it back here, so just stay tight. I'm just going to leave. I might take a little bit more than a minute, but I'll be back. So we are back here. Sorry about that. I just had to go grab a drink because I'm thirsty since I was talking a lot. That's what I always do. That's what I do is talk. So anyway, so Roby Anderson, jeez Louise, second time getting arrested. Got arrested in Florida. That's pretty much what he did. 9 charges he did wrong. I really don't get this, and it's happening with the Jets player again. Jets have everything happen to them. It's their player who's getting arrested. It's them who's going 5-11 every year. It's them who's don't got a QB. Everything goes wrong for the Jets. Let's just put it as that. That's why it's tough to be a Jets fan. Because everything goes wrong for them. Nothing goes in their way. Goes their way. So Roby Anderson. If the Jets let him go, I'm gonna read through stats about what the Jets will be losing, and I'm gonna tell you if they should let him go. I think this is absolutely ridiculous, and I think it's the whole NFL. The whole NFL is messed up. Every single player, I think every single player in the NFL. If it was never for football, it would be jail. Football saved their lives. 90% of that NFL, if it was never for football, they would be in jail right now. You don't see guys in the MLB kneeling for the national anthem. You don't see guys in the NHL doing that. You don't see guys in the NBA doing that. It's only the NFL. It's only the NFL. I don't know why, but it's only the NFL. And obviously, this does not bring me to a surprise because Robbie Anderson has already gotten arrested before last year. I really don't know. I mean, I think Robbie Anderson is just. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, if you're a sports star, would you go out and you would go mess up your career? Would you do that? No. That's why all these NFL players have got dirty minds. 90% of them got dirty minds. Where they've grown up is awful. Some areas that they've grown up, there's shootings there is every day. Some NFL players are good. The 3 nominees for the Walter Payton Man in the Year award. Some of them are good, or they're all good. I heard about the 2, Benjamin Watson and J.J. Watt. I forget the 3rd. J.J. Watt, I want to win it personally because I really like J.J. Watt. I think that Hurricane Harvey relief that he sent $5 million over there or something like that. That's big. And J.J. Watt's good. Benjamin Watson's good. Some players are good. I'm just saying more than half of them, if it was never for football, they would be done. You know? Almost like Marshawn Lynch. This is a story. Or not really a story, but a little thing. I mean, when they were playing in Mexico against the Patriots, he kneeled for the American national anthem, but he standing for the Mexico national anthem. That's a guy there that if it was never for NFL, he would be in jail. There's a lot of other names out there. I don't really want to go through them at this moment because I want to get this, because we're only focusing really on Robbie Anderson. But there's tons of other people out there. Play on the Broncos. He grew up in a bad town. I mean, 90% of these people, these guys were taking care of themselves, or they didn't have a, mom or dad or things like that. It's this whole NFL. It's only the NFL. I don't know. So Robbie Anderson got 9 charges. First one, on a 40-mile-per-hour street, he was driving 145 miles. On a 50-mile-per-hour street, he was driving 145. No, on a 40-mile-per-hour street, he was driving 145 miles an hour. That's 105 more miles per hour than you're really supposed to do. Reckless driving, technically what that's called. What else? When the officer, he was resisting the arrest. The officer, he was gonna say that the officer's wife, he said that he's gonna find out where she lives and threaten her. So that's one thing that he did. I think he was drunk too. I think. I don't remember all of them. I try to remember all of them, but when I tried to take my notes, I couldn't find all the things. It only gave me 3 or 4. Because I guess when I try to look at all these different sites of what happened, and all these different radio shows, I guess they didn't give all of the 9 reasons. I guess some of them are just bad, but yeah. Anyway, so that's what you have. Robbie Anderson there. He's a good player. He's very good. I think I think he can do a lot of things. He's got a career ahead of him. Now kind of done after what happened, but we'll see what happens. Here's a guy that on November 26th was begging for some Pro Bowl votes and being in the Pro Bowl. And now look at him. He's arrested. He's in jail right now. So should the Jets give him away? Personally, I think a guy like this, a butt nut like this, should be given away. I don't think. You gotta have players that actually have heads and have thinking. Not players who are going to do everything wrong. You gotta have players that are going to, 1, help you win, 2, not run into any trouble, and 3, be a good person. I know a lot of it's the NFL. I don't know what's up. I don't know why it's the NFL. Don't ask me. I don't know why. I don't think anybody knows why it's the NFL. Why the NFL always have all the problems, not the MLB, NHL, NBA. I don't know why it's the NFL, but what it is what it is. So, should Robbie Anderson be gone? Personally, I think, in my opinion, Robbie Anderson should be out of there. I really do. I know he's a very good player. I don't want him to leave, but I think the right decision at this moment is to drop him. Drop him. You gotta drop him. No one else is gonna pick him up. You gotta drop him. I think that's the best decision at this point. I don't want him to leave, really. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. He's a good player. He's got a career. I'm sure somebody's gonna pick him up. I really am sure. Maybe after this incident, maybe not this year, but maybe next year or the next few years he'll get picked up. He's young. He's not that old either, which even makes it more stupid for him to do that, but also makes him that, even though he's only been playing in a league year. Last year was his rookie season, 2016 and 2017. He's only played 2 years in the NFL. So, I think here, at this moment, you have to give him away. I don't want him to, but they have to. Personally, though, I would rather a team with players that can actually do things without getting in trouble, So let me run through what they will be missing if they give him away. 6.3 is his 63 receptions this year, 941 yards. He has a 14.9 average. This is his season stats. 69 was his 69 total. Wait, no, I'm reading that wrong. And 7 touchdowns this year. So 7 touchdowns. 7 touchdowns is pretty good. I have to admit, right. You would say 7 touchdowns is pretty good. He's got some stats that are decent. The stats don't blow me away, don't take me out of my seat. But they're stats that are reasonable. They're stats that a reasonable player, an average player, right? Not stats that blow me out of the way, put me out of my seat, let me fly through the roof, and that stuff like that. But they're stats that are, kind of like, oh, he's average, he's good, he can do things, he's special. Things like that. Wouldn't consider him the best, but he's average. So what the Jets will be missing? Jets will be missing a player who's fast. He's a very, very quick player. Very quick player. And he's very young. And the Jets want to get some young players, so they'll also be missing a lot of a young player if they give him away. 105 receptions, 1,528 yards, 14.6 is his average, and his total touchdowns with the Jets was 9. He didn't have the best 2016. He really didn't, but when he catches the ball, he's actually not too bad. He's fast. He's a deep ball receiver. Last year, I feel like they played him more of a screen receiver. He's more of a deep ball receiver. He really is. He's fast. He's tall, and he can get around places very quickly. So he's more of a deep ball receiver. They used him as a deep ball receiver this whole year. And those stats are showing that he's not the best, but he's not the worst either. I think he did get a little cocky at the moment this year when he was asking for Pro Bowl votes. It's one game. I know that one game was very good, even though they lost, but it's one game. It's one game. Be humble. I like players who are humble, like Aaron Judge. Not just saying that just because I like him. Watch some of his interviews at the end of the game. He's humble. He's humble as heck. Just be humble. Don't be bragging. Don't be like, this is a life lesson if you play sports. Don't be bragging. Don't be like, oh, I'm the best. If someone says, oh, I can beat you, just stay back. Say, okay. Stay back. Don't be like, oh, no, I can beat you. I'm too good. You're so bad. Just be humble, Robbie Anderson in this moment really isn't humble. So, do I think the Jets should give him away? I think a player that's going to give you decent numbers, but's going to give you lots of drama in the offseason, you got to give away. If he gave you numbers that pop me out of my seat, maybe keep him. But numbers that don't do that, numbers that don't blow anybody really away and cause you drama in the off season. Personally, I would, if I were you, is drop him. Or, gotta stop my timer. Or, if you don't drop him, bench him for the first few games. Suspend him for the first few games. That's another thing that could possibly be happening. They possibly could be suspending him for the first few games. You never know what could happen. Whenever you get arrested, there's a chance that there's going to be charges. There will be charges. There's going to be charges, trust me. There will be. He might get suspended. The Jets might not drop him. They might keep him, but he'll be suspended. That will be his, or something like that. I know the Jets are going to have to do something. They will. I know they are the Jets, and they might think stupid, but I'm sure they're going to give him some sort of thing. Sure, the NFL will give him some sort of charge on what he did. This is his second time, too. Not in a span of like a year. In a span of a year. So, when you get arrested twice for something total dumb that you shouldn't have been doing, that kind of also gets your mind thinking a little bit of why we should drop him and why we shouldn't. But, yeah. So, anyway, when we come back, when we come back, it's going to be part 2. Part 1's done for today. Still have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have Pat Shurmur. Yankees get Chance Adams and Justice Hetfield. Tyronn Lue, how will his history going with how will his next few, how will his I don't know, I can't pop the word out, but how is his future with the Cavs? There it is. How is his future with the Cavs? Is his Cavs bright or not bright? A lot of people think it's not bright. Nets, Knicks, and Rangers are what we're going to be talking about also. So that's all coming up on part 2. We only got to 2 of them today, but obviously that's coming up on part 2. So when we come back, it will be part 2. Thanks for watching part 1, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.